This is a tactical RPG with turn-based combat, set in the golden age of Piracy. This game aims to be historically authentic in many ways, but it does still incorporate some fantasy elements. After a quick tutorial, the game starts with you as Captain Flint, getting captured and imprisoned and then trying to break out of the fortress, along with your crewmate Billy Bones. And right off the bat, the game introduces you to the core systems: exploration, dialogue choices, and turn-based combat. The game's story is about pursuing some mysterious treasure, and the narrative is delivered through comic book style panels that actually look really well done. The entire overall quality of this game gives off a very solid first impression. The user interface is clearly structured. Yes, there is quite a lot going on and quite a bit of stuff to manage and keep an eye on, but that's honestly just how it is with these deep tactical RPGs. What could use some better explanation are some of the combat interfaces and tooltips not showing when hovering above an item. You have to click every single time, which can get a bit tedious. This game has skill checks using dice rolls for many things. Combat is turn-based with an action point system and also has a heavy emphasis on dice rolls and environmental interaction. Your attacks, special abilities and even defensive moves are all determined by dice rolls, which you can sometimes re-roll using special items. The combat feels pretty lethal. Characters can go down pretty quickly on both sides, especially if they're not positioned well. What's cool in this game is that the progression system ties directly into the pirate theme. Instead of traditional XP, you basically gain experience by collecting and sharing loot with your crew. The loot also serves as your currency for purchasing equipment and upgrades. When characters level up, they can improve their abilities, get better dice, and of course unlock new skills. The gear system itself has some unique touches as well. Armor, for example, doesn't reduce damage percentages. Instead, it completely blocks a set number of hits per combat, while also giving you stat penalties. Weapons have different ranges and special abilities they can trigger, like bleeding or knockdowns. You can also interact with the environment, like throw barrels at enemies, knock them off ledges, and use various objects to your advantage. The combat areas seem designed with verticality in mind, as is the case with most tactical RPGs. The game has a party system, which in this case is called the crew system, that lets you recruit various characters that, as far as I have seen, come with their own abilities. Now, in terms of voice acting, I haven't seen too much of it being present, aside from the opening cutscene.
And I chose a pirate's life. Once again, wealth was crossing my path.
Aside from that, it's mostly just text for you to read. Now, while it is of course unrealistic that every tactical RPG should have every single phrase voice acted, like Divinity Original Sin 2 does it, at least some occasional expression sounds and stuff like that would certainly help. The game is clearly going for a mix of historical piracy with some fantasy elements. It seems to lean more toward the historical side in terms of setting and atmosphere. The comic book style narrative presentation definitely helps keep things engaging between all the tactical combat encounters. And that sentence concludes today's video. If your time was respected, a like or comment is very much appreciated.